Welcome to my mental health channel. This is Michelle, and the subject, how to become a better person. And this is a request video. I love request videos, but they're also more challenging, which I guess is good. A little bit easy, not as easy as just reading off a diagnosis to you, but challenge is a good thing. What does it mean to be a better person? I think that's the first question we have to ask ourselves when we decide that that's what we want. That's a goal that we have for ourselves. What does that mean? Does that mean getting in deeper touch with our spirituality, our creativity, giving more to the world, making a bigger change in the world, just being more present in our lives in a certain way? So if you're here because you're thinking about ways to become a better person, probably the first question to ask yourself is what that means to you. We all may have different goals around what that means for us. So once you've answered that, it can be a little bit easier then to figure out what concrete steps there are for you to do. So I've come up quickly with 5. This is not to be all-encompassing. These are just things that have come to me since I was asked to do this video. And I hope that you'll share the ones that you have come up with myself and others, because there are obviously going to be many other ways to become a better person. It's a kind of an abstract question. The first way, I think, is to be there for other people. Be there for the people in your life. What does that really mean to be there? It can mean being in touch with what other people are going through, what they're needing, what kind of support they'd like to have. So we do get our energy kind of used up by our day-to-day lives, just kind of taking care of ourselves, our household, the day-to-day crap, we got to get groceries, got to clean this, got to, feed that animal or person. And there's just a lot that we take on in our modern world. So it's hard to have energy for other people. But if we can make that a priority to be there, we know, that someone's struggling with something. Maybe we'll ask more questions about what people are going through, what they need. And to be present, it doesn't mean solving their problems. It doesn't mean that you suddenly take it all away, whatever someone's dealing with. But to know that someone cares about you, will be present for you, maybe even just brings you food. That can be a huge thing when you're struggling. So being there for other people, I think, is one great way of beginning to become a better person in the world. I think another way is doing the right thing even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult. It can be easy to say, give to UNICEF from our paycheck or whatever. That's important, though. I'm not discounting that, but I'm talking about being true to your inner values. What are your inner values? Connecting with those and doing something that is right, even if no one sees that you're doing it. There's some quote about that. Do the right thing even though no one's looking, kind of thing. So finding ways to open your heart, to be generous, to be giving, even when it can be kind of difficult. When it becomes a sacrifice, that means you're even all the more generous. And I'm not saying give away all your energy, give away all of yourself, give till you've got nothing left. When I'm talking about sacrifice, I'm talking about sharing what you have. It could be kindness, listening, stopping and taking time for someone. It can be giving monetary things. So what does it mean for you to do the right thing. Another way of being a better person in the world is attending to taking care of yourself. Often we're told, put yourself first. Sometimes that is the right thing to do. But if we're always doing that, then our world becomes really small and become just about ourselves, and we become selfish. But we don't want to be also completely selfless in that we're putting other people's needs, other adult people's needs, before our own. Now, I'm not talking about, someone who's elderly or has a disability. I'm not talking about taking care of your children. We do put them first. Other than that, really paying attention every day to finding a way to put ourselves on an even field. Some of us really have so much empathy that we worry about other people's problems, we worry about other people's needs, or we've let go of our own. We've put other people above ourselves in a way that is not healthy, is not good for that person, and it's not good for ourselves. And if you're someone who's a giver, who kind of, it can feel like you're just pulling pieces of your flesh off to give to other people, and you feel empty, perhaps resentful afterward, confused about why it doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right. Remembering to take time every day and ask, what have I done to take care of myself? And separating self-care from selfishness. It's not a sustainable way to live when you're giving to everyone else and everything else in the world before yourself. So it can be that it's actually good for some of the people in your life to not have you give so much. So again, it's a difficult thing to find that balance again between ourselves and other people. Keeping your word on things that you said you would or would not do. Keep someone's confidence, that you would show up when someone expects you to show up. Saying that you're going to do something and actually following through and doing it. Is very easy to say, I want to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you, I'll be there at whatever time. And then, we kind of get lost in our own world, in our own troubles, and we show up late repeatedly or don't show up at all. Break promises kind of regularly. None of us are perfect. We all are late sometimes. We all forget sometimes. And that's not what this is about. This is about trying to keep your word. So when you keep your word, it's important before you even say you're going to do something, right? To ask yourself, can I actually do this? Because we may say yes to something to please that other person, or because it's just hard to say no. We feel like we're a bad person if we say no. So before you even say you're going to do something, think about, is this really possible? Do I have the energy for this? And if you do say yes, you're going to do that, keep your word. That's another way of being there for other people. And it's a way of keeping our integrity as a person. And it's a way of preventing selfishness in a small life. The last thing that came to me on this topic is opening our minds. When we open our minds, I think that we do become a better person. What does it mean to open our mind? It means to look at areas where we've made yes, no, black and white judgments and revisit that. It's about not just going day to day in the same trench, and we keep making that trench deeper and deeper because we think and do and behave in the same way day to day to day, and our life doesn't blossom. we don't meet new people, we don't consider new ideas because probably we're using a lot of energy and we don't have energy left for opening our mind. So the first thing may be, where am I expending excess energy? Where am I losing time that's not really helping my life? Take that time back to your life, and you may find that you have a space for listening to other people's point of view, for just listening. You know, most people that I meet, and I'm not talking about in therapy, but just that I meet in the world, really talk a lot. They just keep talking, but they don't give you room to respond at all or ask you questions about yourself at all. And that person can be left feeling resentful, invisible. Even their mood can be affected by that. And we don't really connect when we're giving a lecture. So thinking about, am I doing a lot of talking here? Could I open my mind to learning about another person and leaving room for that person to take up some space, or their needs or dreams to take up some space? If we stay polarized, like, who really benefits from that? Opening our mind can be exploring our creativity in new ways or in old ways that we've let go. It can be learning about a new subject. As you know, there are so many ways that we can open our minds, and doing it with compassion for ourselves. That, you know, all of these really could be a place to beat ourselves up, be mean to ourselves about how we've failed in this area. So this list, or this idea of becoming a better person, should be taken at the same time, I think, with self-compassion, honoring what we have achieved in our life, what we have gone through in our life. Who we are right now is valuable and does not require a big change or a change at all to be valuable. You are valuable right now as you are. That in mind, knowing our value, we may decide that we want to live a bigger life, even a better life. So the self-compassion with opening ourselves up to new ways that may fulfill us, that may help us connect and live our best life. I'd love to hear your ideas for becoming a better person. Thank you so much for taking this time for yourself to think about this important topic. I really appreciate you being here. Be well.